Hey everybody, it's been a little while since I've done a Facebook Live, but I wanted to give one because today was an especially important day in my life. A lot of you saw my post a little bit earlier today, and you know that today would have been Tiffany and I's 16th wedding anniversary. And I think like a lot of people can make the assumption that because you're remarried and you're building a new life and going through a lot of transition that grief wouldn't be as dominant on those days. But I can assure you that I grieve just as much as what I do now as a remarried man in different ways than what I did whenever I didn't have anybody in my life. And the thoughts of Tiffany still consume me on days like today. So today I woke up and the first thing I wanted to do was to wish Tiffany a happy anniversary, to leave her a note, and those thoughts still come to me. They're a dominant thought in my mind. And today was one of those emotionally difficult days, and it was hard because I didn't have the emotional capacity to be able to handle grief today. Today was the day that we had to get everything that Tiffany and I owned out of the camp garage. We moved everything out of the house to the garage at the end of May, knowing that we had to figure out what was going to happen in the future. But the camp house is getting new windows, so all the stuff had to come out of the garage and go to a storage unit. And there's nothing more emotionally draining than handling the things that you spent 14 years as a married couple building and having to move it into a U-Haul and having to go into a storage unit. Like, that was mentally hard. Grateful for the people that helped out. Really super thankful for that. But the ability to not be able to grieve, you felt it, like you felt the weight of moving items from one place to another that almost seemed to represent a different lifetime, multiple lifetimes ago, it feels like sometimes. So after we were done moving everything in the storage unit, you close the door, you lock it, you return the U-Haul, and then I'm like, okay, I want to process an anniversary. So my mom watched the kids tonight. And I went to Chambersburg, and I went to the gravestone. I went to Tiffany's gravestone. And let me tell you what, there's nothing worse than telling the person you loved more than anything in the world, happy anniversary through a gravestone. There's something unnatural about that no matter what age you are. But being, 41 years old and having to tell Tiffany's gravestone happy anniversary, like that's weird. Like that's heavy. And to sit there, and I clean the gravestone every time I go there. I bring a bottle of water and I try to clean the gravestone from any dirt, and I try to reset the flowers up and make it look a little bit nicer. And I wanted to go out tonight on a place where we might have went for anniversary. So I went tonight to Montezuma's in Chambersburg, and I ate dinner alone, which I hate eating dinner alone, but I'm like, I wanted to have an empty seat across from me to remember Tiffany's presence that would have been there. And I ordered the meal that I ate the November 24th, the night before she passed away. That night, her and I ate Montezuma's. She had her meal, I had my meal. So it's kind of a symbolic meal that tonight. So I ate the same exact thing I would have ate then. And then the kids wanted crumble cookies, so I went over to Crumble Cookie. And Crumble Cookie, you can put the name for your order, and they say the name of that person out loud, and you get to pick it up. And tonight I started typing in Matt, M-A-T-T, not that big of a name. And I saw the T at the end. I'm like, no, I'm going to do something different. And I've done this a few times. So I deleted my name and I put Tiffany's name in because I wanted to hear the lady say her name, because I believe that Tiffany's name matters. I'm 6 months remarried. We're almost 30 months since Tiffany's diagnosis, more than 30 months now since her stage 4 diagnosis. And we're coming up on 2 years since she passed away. And I still want to hear her name mentioned because her name matters. Our 14 years of married life, I value that. I treasure that. I always will. And that's never going to change. So when the lady said her name, I had a smile. I didn't cry. Probably get my tears in a little bit later on the night. But just the thought that somebody would say her name, even though she's in heaven, just to hear her name be said. And I want to let you know that the journey of being a widower and getting remarried, I still love being able to say Tiffany's name, and I never once feel guilty for it. And I'm super thankful for Leslie and how she just loves the past that God gave me and how she's embraced it. And how she just asked you, how's your day, and things like that, vice versa for her too. And this, the reality of those things, today. Grief comes on big days. It comes on days like anniversaries and birthdays and death dates and things like that. It comes up on you, days like today. But grief days still even exist on random Tuesdays or on a Monday morning for no reason, or certain smells or certain sights or certain things just always kind of resonate with you. So for any of the guys that are out there that are grieving tonight, or anybody grieving in general, I just will let you know that you're seen and you're heard, and that grief is a beautiful part of life if you allow grief to be able to be a teacher instead of a master to you. And I assure you that grief would love to master your life at times. It would love to undo you. But grief to me is a reminder that it's a great love that you carried for somebody. It's a love that maybe doesn't have the place to go that it wants to go. And that reminds you of the love that you shared with somebody. Tim and I had a great married life together. We had a beautiful married life together for 14 years. And I'm super thankful and I'm grateful that God gave her to me. And I'm thankful that God didn't stop writing a story. And this is one of my other reminders that I have for the men that I work with, because a lot of you guys are listening to this and you've lost your spouse, some of you recently, and you might feel like God's done with you and that your story doesn't matter, or that God doesn't care, or he's unaware. I just want to remind you that on heavy days like this, God still is aware. He's not aloof. I'm reminded of the scripture in Hebrews that says, God is my helper and he's not going to leave me nor forsake me. And I want to just remind you, gentlemen, that even in these moments where your amputation, your loss has felt more heavier, that God is close to you. Matter of fact, that's one of the key verses from my Sons of the Shepherd ministry is Psalm 34, verse 18. It says, the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves those that are crushed in spirit. That's a promise that God gives. So men or anybody that's listening, that's grieving, I just want to remind you the beauty of that promise that God makes, that he doesn't leave you or abandon you in those moments. He's near to you. He's near to the brokenhearted. That's a special proximity prayer that God gives to each and every one of us. I just want to thank you guys for listening tonight. My heart and my burden on a 16th wedding anniversary was to honor Tiffanie. And once again, it might sound like a contradiction to say, I have somebody in my life that I love with all my heart. I love Leslie. We're going to have, I'm hoping, many decades together, while also loving Tiffanie. Those two things are not a contradiction. One, like, remarriage does not nullify love of a first marriage. It's a beautiful blending of those two things together. Like, the person that I love with all my heart was Tiffanie, and I get to love her in the past because that's where she was. I get to love her in a different way in the present, but I get to love her in the future because she's in heaven. And I'm super grateful the fact that because I said I do the second time doesn't mean I have to tell Tiffanie I don't anymore. My marriage vows are complete. I've finished them. We said to death do us part, and I'm so thankful that Tiffanie and I get to say vows and we get to live out. But on a day like today, I want her name to matter. So Tiffanie Robinson's name matters, maybe more to me than to anybody else on planet Earth, because we had a chance to be best friends for 14 years, and I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that God got us a chance to be able to spend those 14 years together. Those of you that are just tuning in tonight, thank you for listening. Thank you for hearing this guy's heart, and just knowing that a faithful God isn't done writing a story. There's still blank pages that he has yet many things to do in your life. And for the men that are tuning in or anybody that are grieving, just want you guys to know that I love you and I care for you. And you're not in this alone. We're in this together. And the Lord carries us through it. So God bless you guys. Thank you for listening in. And thank you for wishing me the blessings of the day and the comfort that I obviously need in these moments. But God's faithful and excited to see what he's going to do in the future. God bless you guys. Have a good night. Bye now.